Welcome to week 5, the final week of the course. In this week, we won't introduce any new topics, but review all that we've learned in the previous 4 weeks against the course objectives that we defined before we went into this course. The course objectives, you may remember, were the following. You will learn to create a financing structure that is optimal for the success of the project financing. This includes creating an optimal allocation of the risks, rewards and roles between the various project stakeholders to support the project financing, creating a financial risk management plan, and constructing the optimal legal conditions for a project financing to succeed. First, let's look at the first sub-objective, the optimal allocations. The allocation of the project rewards. The optimal allocation of the financial rewards was addressed in the financial section in week 1. We saw that the investors and lenders have very specific requirements when it comes to their share of the project cash flows. They need to be able to identify at least a certain level of financial return before they will invest. If we are to succeed in funding our project, we will need the project to offer them at least that financial return. And then in week 4, we saw that we use a project model to generate and analyze these cash flows. And that model also enables them to analyze what the financial consequence of risk is for their returns and applying sensitivity analysis. In addition to the financial rewards, the project may bring other non-financial rewards, social returns such as poverty alleviation, less traffic congestion, or lower CO2 emissions, etc. We saw that the private financial investors will not normally be able to value such social returns very easily. If we aim to optimize the allocation of the project rewards, these rewards may be better offered to public stakeholders, such as a government that provides a concession for a PPP project. We saw in week 3 that the concession agreement in a PPP is the perfect document to allocate the various types of project rewards between the groups of stakeholders. Now we look at the optimal allocation of the project risks. In principle, all the risks start off being for the project company, as that is the entity that's undertaking the project, and thus the investors in and the lenders to the project company will also bear those risks. Week 1 taught us that if we leave it at that situation, they may not provide us the funding we need. Or even if they do, they are likely to charge us high funding rates, rates that may be higher than the project can bear. We saw in week 2 that we try to manage the risks by allocating them away from the project company as much as possible. We do this with a risk management plan where we identify risks and then we try to allocate these risks away. And the finance away from the company and the financiers in a contracting structure and through insurances. If we allocate a specific risk to a party who is best able to manage and control that risk, they will be a reliable counterparty and charge the project company the lowest price for their risk mitigation. We allocate construction risks to construction companies, interest risks to banks, etc., etc. So the optimal risk management plan is a plan where we have allocated the risks to the most appropriate stakeholders as much as possible, reducing the funding cost to the lowest level possible and allocation bringing the project company the greatest value for money. Once again, the project model enables us to quantify these factors. Now we look at the optimal allocation of roles in a project finance, and this will be the allocation where each party has a clearly defined role and a clear responsibility. Also, the area of responsibility must be that party's core competence, in which it has a proven track record. For example, again, construction conducted by a proven EPC contractor, operation and maintenance according to clearly defined minimum standards, and again by a proven contractor. Project sales would be to a professional off-taker with market knowledge and a successful track record, say a power company. And finally, the management of the actual project cash flows is also a role that we should take care of. We saw that these flow according to pre-agreed sequences, the payment waterfall or the payment cascade. And that they flow through a bank that has experience in monitoring these project cash flows. With the allocation of roles and risks, we have created a clear governance structure, and the financiers can be confident that the particular role has the highest chance of being carried out successfully and efficiently. And if not, the responsible contractor will be fully and financially motivated to remedy a problem quickly through the contractual arrangements. That now leaves the final objective: constructing the optimal legal conditions for the project to succeed. The legal conditions that we seek are the ones that lay down the governance structure, the optimal allocation of rewards and risks and roles and responsibility. Essentially, the contracting system needs to enforce all that we've identified just now. And with many years of project experience, a standardized contracting system has developed that we can tap into when we develop our project. The standardized contracting system helps us to think through the various issues, identify potential solutions, and document them in a way that has proven its worth over the years. All in all, it may seem a lot of effort to work through all these issues in the early stages of project development. But doing so will greatly aid the funding and also the project success after closing. The case study we used to illustrate the course topics is a civil construction project. That connects well with our faculty at TU Delft, Technical University, the university that develops this course. I saw that quite a few of the registered participants in this course work in areas that focus on smaller scale projects, for example, solar panels and other forms of sustainable energy projects. You may be wondering if all this applies to your projects too, given the cost and hassle that a full-scale project finance brings in the project preparation. As an investment manager in a fund that invests in sustainable energy deals, I can confirm that the same principles are applied here, albeit that, of course, we try to tailor the requirements to the size and the complexity of the transaction. But in these smaller deals also, offtake agreements, EPC construction, and ongoing product guarantees are vital for the funding. Because the returns generated by new energy technologies are still relatively inefficient, risk management and contracting are particularly vital here too. This video now concludes our course. The remainder of week 5 is to enable you to catch up in workload. I hope that you enjoyed taking this course as much as I have enjoyed in preparing it. I tried to make the course practical, hoping that you would recognize the situations and the issues that we covered from your daily practice. And finally, I welcome your reviews and I'm open to suggestions for improvement of this course for the future. Thank you for all your hard work in this course. I hope that someday our paths will cross, perhaps in questions you have for me through other professional trainings that I give, or through an investment from the fund that I represent, the Nationaal Groen Fonds, the National Green Fund in the Netherlands, where I'm an investment manager. Thank you all and all the best to you. Bye-bye.